Okay, so I've come back from the Broadford Vinduro, which was an insanely awesome event. This is the track that the guys rode. So I was there with my mates taking their bikes down and doing a bit of helping out on the day. So of course that was on the Sunday we finished there, got home, and by the Monday I thought I'd better look for a bike. So I've got a TS 185 from 1972. So I've got two or three of these really. But after chatting with the boys away on the weekend, we realised this isn't really going to cut it for the Vinduro riding. I'll end up just breaking and wrecking the bike. You like 28mm fork tubes and all that sort of stuff, and it's not really made for it for my weight, being like the 90, 92 kilos, give or take. So I'm still going to do these up, but I've got a lot of parts. I bought heaps of parts 12 years ago. So I'll do that up on a side note. Then I thought I'd better look for a bike on a very tight budget. So I thought I've always liked and chucked in the old KLR250. So obviously I've got the KLR650, and we'll see what the 250 is like. So I had a look around, nothing local. Then found this one in Mortlake, which I was going to have a look at, which is like your 92. They didn't really change a lot from 84 when they were made to the 92s. Not too bad, so that retro graphics, but still 1850. How much is he going to actually drop? I wanted to get it into this like $1,000. Then obviously being real tight ass, not good enough knobbies, so I'm going to be dropping more cash on knobbies straight away. So I sort of looked at that one and thought, I didn't really think that too many people were using bike sales anymore, especially for cheap basic bikes, but there was one there which I have snapped up. So a nice guy who I chatted with, he'd only had a little while. He bought it because he's getting his L's soon. He's a bit of an older gentleman, but getting back into riding, getting his L plate. So he bought this around his paddock, ridden 4 hours. Prior owner, he's pretty sure is the original owner, who really just rode Vinduros every couple of Vinduros a year for the last 15, 20 years, I guess. So that's the bike. So it's an 84, 85 model, which were weird. They had the passenger pegs on the full floater suspension, so when you went over bumps, their legs were being compressed and everything. So later models, they put them off a little bracket here. So yeah, it all works. The indicators have power to them. One indicator's there. All the dash works. The odometer, everything works, because I've noticed a couple of different pictures and videos he sent me. This has gone up to 11 kilometers, and this is all changed. So it's all there. And he was nice enough to come to the party with me being a tight ass and saying it's going to go to a good home, it's going to go to Vinduros, I'll love it, take care of it. We agreed on 1150, which I was rapt about because that's getting me in there nice and cheap, and the wife's not that as unimpressed as she could be. And it's all full knobs already, so the knobs on here will be good enough for me for a few Vinduros. You can see some decent amount on there. So yeah, I'm going to pick this up Wednesday night, the 30th of October. We'll pick it up. So it didn't take long to get back from the Vinduro and then decide on a new bike. So there's a few good mods you can do on this. A good one being the KLR650. Any KLR650 rear shock fits in with a bit of finessing and a bit of a bracket alteration. And I've got one because I put the nice YSS shock in my new KLR. So the stock KLR shock will go great in this, and I can give myself another inch of height if I want to. The stock shock's a little bit shorter, so you need to put a little bracket in to make the KLR one big enough. So 38mm forks. It should last a bit longer with my weight. 28 horsepower. It's a high compression ratio, these ones, so they're quite good torque on them, and sort of even horsepower all the way through the rev range. And they rev out quite high, 9,500 revs, give or take, red line, so quite a high revving bike. So yeah, so I picked this up on Wednesday night. So we're just in Dymo, and then we're hitting the road, get there about 6 o'clock tonight, 6:15. Organise the bike, grab it, put it on, bring it home. Check in later. The new beast. Oh, yes. I rode it. Kevin took it for a big fang with his helmet on. Get out of the sun for Kev. We just did Ross Creek area, aren't we? About to have some dinner at the pub. Yep. She's got some good knobs on her still. She's just all, nice and tight and goes well.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fresh.
6-speed, thermofan still works. So it just cracked my budget though. I was hoping for $1,000, so we were $1,150 in. So this is going to be my budget Vinduro build. So yeah, there's our place, bunch of grapes for dinner tonight. But yeah, we're quite happy with her. So we got her home last night. I I've done really nothing. Started, had a bit of a look around, just looking over it. Lots of nice features of it, like all this original stuff here with the covered with plastic over here, and nice clip here, and the venting comes here and vents to a little location held here. The one bit of damage is busted mirror mount. You only need one for roadworthy. Seat will be something I need to get a seat cover for. Might grab a new one of these bags or just stitch it up, but all the lights work. Everything works. Indicators are all either unscrewed and ripped off, but all the wires are right there, all the way around the bike, ready to use. Nothing I actually need to do. Nothing shagged out. Like, these are all still fine. This is all fine. Not hitting the case. It's all good. I'm gonna remove these because this model had the foot pegs on the floater, but there's a bolt, so I can take everything off except that one little bit, which I'll just cap with the plastic cap. Take this off and clean it up. Front disc is probably getting a bit low, but she's a bit grooved, but that'll probably need to be changed at some point. Other than here, I bought a new gasket for the header, because I think I'll take this off, wire wheel it, get rid of the rust, and paint it a nice black. So I'm just going to start with all the basics and some cosmetics. So I've bought oil filter, a new uni filter, dual stage air filter, the gasket, new spark plug. I'll do new spark plug, and I'll do the header. I'm going to leave the frame as it is. These plastics are all going to be cleaned up. I've already cleaned the front ones. You can see this was dirty, and so was this, but it came up really good. That was just using the miracle sponges. What are they called? Can't remember what they call them. It's the stuff they call like a rubber, like an eraser, magic eraser. That with just water did that. And then there's this Italian stuff. It's cleaning product, but it's basically for anything from putting it in on your clothes to get stains out, to cleaning your dishwasher, your sink, and your oven, to cleaning motorbikes. It's actually got a picture of motorbikes. So this stuff is insanely good at cleaning everything, even interior products. So I'm going to go over some of the plastics with that. Well, you can see this one here, really grimed up. So I'll go over it with just this stuff, and we'll see how it comes out. So I just popped it off. Obviously filthy on the back, pretty dirty on the front. So I'm just going to have a bit of a go with some of the frosty, whatever you call it, stuff, just with a microfiber. Let's see how that goes, and then I might have a go with some of those other ones. But this stuff is insanely good. Might also go with one of these magic erasers. These magic erasers just basically soak them in water. My water with my whippersnipper cable. So if you don't know, check any of your whippersnipper cable, keep it in water, and it lasts longer and doesn't break as easy. Bit of a hot tip. So this magic eraser stuff works really well because it's got a slight abrasiveness to it. So you're pretty much taking a very fine layer of your plastics off as you're doing it, but then you can polish your plastics up. You can see that's fully cleaned up there. So that's the plastic cleaned up. You pretty much just go through basically one little section of the magic eraser, but it comes up really quite good when you compare it to how it was in the other one. So then I'll go over that. I've got a little bit of the basic iPhone polish. I think really use whatever polish you've got. This one just happened to come in a little kit I got a while ago. So I'll rub a bit of that on there. And you can see my thing of choice is old socks. Old cotton socks, they get a hole in them. Work good for this sort of stuff. So rub a bit of this polish onto there. Protect it a bit and give it a bit of a shine. It smells quite good, this stuff. Do this for all the plastics. It looks like a brand new bike. Adds a bit of a glossy shine to it. And all the plastics are actually in good nick. There's nothing broken, which is a bonus. Works quite well. So we'll chuck that one back on and do the other side. So that one there is like brand new now. Not really a blemish or mark on it. So really quite good. You can see I've done the front of there, but not the back. So you can see how filthy it was. So we'll pop that off to do that. So that's complete left hand side, and compare that to the right. I already rubbed a little bit up here, but you can see it's filthy. So we'll pop this one off now. Number 2 done. Remember that was caked on, just comes up beautiful. Bit of the iPhone at the end, chuck that one on too. So now we've got the front of that done, and that entire one there done. looking quite good. I think we'll go pop off the side panels now, give them a clean up. This will be the hard bit to get off. This one's going to get taken off and painted. This one's going to get taken off and painted. This, from what I can gather, instead of just a subframe ending just with a flat bit of tube, they add this cap on. It's just retained with a couple of Allen heads. I think when you get the different brands of rear rack, you take this U-shape off and they slide over that bit as their first bracing point, I think. All I can gather as to why it's a separate piece. Yeah, so that once we paint the exhaust, it'll be good. Fix up the seat. There's really not much to do. The tank, it's going to leave it how it is with its few imperfections. Just polish that up, make it nice and shiny. I've got to get some bark busters ends on these because these are they are already capped, which is good, I think, inside for Vinduros, but I'm going to put proper bark busters on there and see how I go. I wouldn't mind getting on, especially this one, purchase some of the heat mat to go on the back of this to protect it a bit. It's already got to protect a standoff point there. So if I do some soft panniers, because I might try to get this actually club regged and do some lightweight adventure trips with this. Half the weight, 225 kilos maybe, fully loaded up. 117, 118 with fuel, 120 maybe. So half the weight basically, just off. Forgot to say, Kev, my Cairo mate, he's got a mate who I think it does fit outs for dentistries and all that, the whole fit outs of the building, so everything's stainless steel hex, and he's got a massive couple of kilo box of all stainless steel various hex heads versions of whatever you have really. So I'm going to sit down with him and go through, bring the box around and see if we can swap out all these basic ones with nice Allen heads. The second panel, so I'm going to get my wife, she's got one of those cricket cry cut things. We're going to have to go get this off as best I can, then do another vinyl overlay. It was like in a blue, not quite black, not sure how original that is. I can't find this exact colour scheme in an 85, but obviously they had it in an 85, so I did notice she's wound up fully on the preload, which for me is not bad. I hopped on it and I probably drop it about 30% sag with me on it, which is exactly sort of what you want, so it might be about spot on like that. But what I can do is swap out over there in a box is my stock KLR spring, because I've got YSS suspension on that bike, and that bolts in with a bit of finessing and making a little extension bracket type thing, but you can do it, and apparently it makes the ride fantastic running that. So that's how she looks in under there, all pretty clean and tidy. Even things like this, like the full rubber setup goes over each other so nothing gets on your shop. I had to make that on the KLR. Like, I had to put this piece of shit in here because it only stops there, and then you have to do a bit of rubber that's joined, and like just some of the stuff they had back in the 80s on these bikes, they just dropped it even on a budget KLR moving forward. First time this seat's been off in no doubt a long time. It's quite good. The seat's still all good. The rubbers, all that sort of stuff, other than it's a bit shagged out. Hell of a lot of gap to get through straight through here. Compared to newer bikes, it's got all crap and electrics here. Snorkel, so they reckon what you can do, drop your snorkel out of here, out of your airbox, take the snorkel out, and up your jetting a little bit, and you get a little bit, half a horsepower more. Well, let's check out this air filter box. Okay, let's do this together. Let's take the air filter out and see how she is. Never had a bike with one like this before, so it's a cartridge slide out sort of one. So I can balance that enough. Get this out of the way a bit with wires. Okay. Ooh. Okay, she got some crud down in there. Then they half fall apart. And a mesh rear. So the mesh is what stays, I guess, maybe. Have a look. Never had one like this before. I've bought the new filter to go in it, which makes sense. It does just, you can retain the plastic or the metal, and you move out this. Oh yeah, so she sandwiches it like that. That's pretty cool. You can see how caked up that is. And the build up on that. And you can't really see through her at all. Definitely like to put the new air filter in that. Should be good. Let's have a look what it looks like inside. So it seals against the door. See if you can see. Get some light into the carb area. Yeah, she's had some. Doesn't seal that well. You can see some crud down in there. Pop the boot out to give that a good clean. It was quite clean, but I'm playing around in there cleaning out the airbox, so I wanted to make sure I cleaned out any crap that was around there. You can see at one point it wasn't fully sealing when they put this in, because there can be a bit of a prick to get in, no doubt. Take this spring off and clean around there so it can seat a bit better too. The boot itself's in good nick, and it'll probably sit better once I clean the crud out for the spring to sit in properly. So it's got no cracks or damage, and now she's completely clean inside. Keep cleaning the airbox a bit before we put this back together, and I might move the location of the join away from where it was because it doesn't really matter, but just to give it a bit of a rest in that point because it sits a little bit differently. Alright, we'll leave it there for now. So I just finished off, I took that boot out and cleaned it. It's a bit tricky getting back on, but it is a little bit, oh no, it just slipped off. Damn it, I just moved that then and made it move off. I've got to get that back on before it fully slips off. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, now we got it on. All in place, so you can see here, all the way around, it's pushed right up to this mounting point, and same on the opposite side. Now clips, springs all nicely done. So we're stopping there, sealed that off. We've done these today, most of that. The other one, all the bits and pieces, air filter and all that sitting up here. So, air filter here, air filter box, nuts and everything for that. The tools, we'll leave all this here till we get back, going camping this weekend, come back and then we can have a play and keep getting into it. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like and subscribe to continue seeing the build of their KLR250. Cheers everyone.